If you'd have said to me a year ago, I'd own a Franklin backyard pit, I'd get into barbecuing and smoking meats, and I'd be here in the UK smoking and barbecuing my very, very first brisket, I'd have thought you were mad. Genuinely, I would have thought you were crazy. But here we are. It's 5:30 in the morning. I've just made my first coffee. Mrs. H and baby H are fast asleep upstairs, so I don't want to be too loud because I don't want to wake them up. But first coffee, I can't believe I'm saying it. We have got, just wait there. We've got a brisket. I can't believe I'm actually saying this. We've got a brisket. Now, what I will say is, it does look very lean. I mean, it is the point and the lean, or point and flat, but it does look quite lean. One thing I have noticed, or a lot of people say, the meats we get, although this is actually an Australian brisket, it's very lean versus the US. So I may need to tweak the cook a little bit just to compensate for that, but we'll see as we go. I'm going to be smoking on the Franklin Offset Backyard Pit Smoker. Cannot wait for that. I'm going to be using Goldee's rub. One more sip of coffee. Get this bad boy opened. Now correct me if I'm wrong, this bit here, is this so you can cut, so you don't cut into the meat? Let me know, but what I am going to do is cut into there and go across. I was going to do an H, or an H, like we did when we cooked a brisket with Eat More Vegans. I am very nervous about this cut of meat. It does seem very, very lean. We can also get hold of USDA American briskets. Unfortunately, I say unfortunately, it's not unfortunate that we can get hold of them, but the price is £200. £200, ladies and gentlemen, for a USDA brisket. Now, I'll just do a quick conversion. Alexa, what is £200 in US dollars?
£200 is about $262 US dollars and 92 cents.
You heard it there, $262 for a brisket. And considering this is my first brisket, there's no way I am going to be spending that money on a first brisket. Now, there was a deal on this one. This is an Australian grass-fed brisket. Oh, this is scary. Look at this, what's that all about? Got a straggly bit here. Not much marbling at all going on here, unfortunately. Thick-ish bit of fat here, and the flat, there's not much going on at all here. Trying to find out, this looks completely different. You cut the decal fat off, but it looks like it's already kind of been cut off. Look, I'm pretty sure that's quite sloppy. Look at that. I'm going to be using all offcuts and we're going to be turning them into sausage, ladies and gentlemen. So that's going to be an entertaining video. Bloody hell. So I'm guessing this is the point meat. Look, why can't we just get some normal cuts of meat over here? Bloody hell. Yeah, because you normally cut across to see what you're dealing with. I might just cut straight across here. Again, this is my very, very first time doing this at home on my offset, so. There's not loads of fat on here, so I'm going to keep it. This fat is quite hard, but it's not all that thick, if that makes sense. I don't want to cut too much off. And this is very lean, look how thin this is. It's kind of looking a bit like a brisket. Oh my days, what? I know, like a lot of the briskets in America, the fat can be quite brown where they use a saw and it actually starts to cook a bit of the fat. We've got none of that here. So I'm guessing, you know, is that a kind of a good thing or not? Don't really want to be cutting off too much, particularly fat, but at the same time, you want to make it as aerodynamic as you can. Okay, certainly not the greatest job in the world. I don't know if I really want to cut all this down though. Don't know. Let me know in the comments below what I should be doing. Normally cut both sides just to see what you're dealing with, but I can already see what I'm dealing with and it ain't a lot. Again, I must stress, I'm not a pit master. Please no hate. I'm trying my best here. Maybe one day, or maybe sometime soon, or next video, we'll upgrade to the USDA brisket. But for a first brisket, I don't want to be spending $260 on a brisket, which I'm probably going to mess up. Down, presentation side. I'm actually dying for another sip of coffee. Oh my God, please don't let this be a complete disaster. Please don't let this be a complete disaster. Right, we're gonna let that do its thing for about 10 minutes while I fire up the pit. So come follow me, let's fire up Franklin. Just before I make my second cup of coffee. Oh my God, that was good. I'm going to be trying out these heat probes from a company called Typha, and I will be completely honest with you, if they're no good, I will tell you, or if they're really good, I will tell you. Guys, wish me luck. I think I'm going to need it for this one. Okay, so the pit is up to temperature. Look, kind of looks like a brisket. We've got our Typha probe in, got my app to keep track of things, because I think I'm going to need it for this one. This could be a very, very low and slow cook. I'm going to be running about 225 Fahrenheit for the first 4 hours, check in and see how the cook's going. And I'm also using oak wood. It's right in the middle. I'm going to squish it up a bit. So I'm going to be maintaining the heat and checking in 4 hours time. Let's hope I don't absolutely burn this to a crisp. So we're 4 hours in, we've been rocking around 250 degrees Fahrenheit. This is the first look. Ready? Please look good, please look good. Ooh. Oh, okay. Okay, so obviously a lot more to go, but you can see it's starting to go here. Okay, it's starting to look a bit like a brisket. I'm going to let it cook for a bit longer. I'm probably going to let that go, maybe checking in another 3 hours. I'm checking in quite regularly with the Typha app, which has been pretty cool so far. Right guys, we've hit the stool. When I say we've hit the stool, I mean, I've hit the stool. I am coming up to my 7-hour check, and we're going to be checking again 3 hours after. I've got an alarm which is going to go off any minute, but I have been tracking it. One of my pet hates is being sold to. Before you skip, we have been asked to give my honest opinion, good and bad. Now, first of all, one thing I really, really like, but at the same time, I really, really don't like is the with these probes. Okay, you get 2 probes. I put one in and there's another one here. You've got this control panel, all nice, singing and dancing, tells you exactly where you are, ambient temperature, internal temperature, and expected time to get to your desired cook. But it's also got an app here as well. Now, again, what I love and what I don't love. What I love is you can track the cook. What I don't like, there is no hiding place. There is no hiding place. So if this cook goes wrong, the numbers don't lie. I'm going to do a screen record on my phone so you'll be able to see what's going on. And you can see the little blue line, which is the ambient temperature. Okay, so you can see it's been quite erratic. With the stick burner, with the Franklin, there are no dampeners. You can't control it too much. It's quite a challenge, the fire management on the Franklin. However, it does make you better with fires. You can see on here quite clearly that there's been quite an erratic up and down. There was a spike up to just over 300 degrees, which I very, very quickly got the temperature down, but these spikes can potentially ruin the cook. Currently at 152 degrees internal, okay? So that's where the probe is, and it looks like, now it could be because the temperature dropped, the brisket could be going into a stall. So it's a really nice way of looking at this like a chart and going, okay, it's leveled off. The ambient temperature, although mine hasn't, has been erratic, but the ambient temperature has been quite stable and the internal temperature remains quite stable. It will tell you that you're going for the stall. So it's quite a nice visual. Again, it's not nice because I can't hide and say, oh my days, it was a bad piece of meat and my temperatures are spiking and ebb and flowing. So yes, that's good. So you've got your target temperature, ambient, also the time remaining. You can set up your cooks. If a dummy like me can use it, anyone can use it. So although I'm only using one probe, we've got the Taifa Sync Gold Jewel here. So Jewel, 2 probes, and also going to be using the Taifa Insta probe, which I'm actually going to be using for the next check. So it's going to be quite interesting to see when I probe close to the internal probe, are they going to be similar or not? Again, I am not here trying to push anything. I just want to let you know there are discounts available down in the pinned comments. If this floats your boat, great. We'll have some links for more information on it, but it's all about making your life easy. And I'm hoping this will make my life easy. But again, there is bloody nowhere to hide. There is nowhere to hide, so I can't blame things like cuts of meat if it doesn't work. If you've got any ideas and suggestions for other things I can do to help with the cook, please let me know in the comments below. These aren't even available in the UK. These are only available in the US for our American cousins. Okay, so we are 7 hours in. Probe is showing 152 degrees internal, so still a ways to go. First time using this. One thing I do like about this is you can have it like that, and then you can sort of do it like that, and it spins around, which is pretty cool. Very technical of me, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Oh, wow. Okay. Still a bit tough in the middle. 158 degrees, there's a little bit of a puddle there. Let that run off. Still a ways to go. Looking pretty good. The bark is starting to set quite nicely. Going to carry on with the cook. If you're looking at it in cooking, might give it a little bit longer before we wrap up and then cook it in foil with tallow. But yeah, so far, so good. We are 12 hours in, 12 hours and 3 minutes to be precise. Ooh. Yeah, seems to set quite well. 168. We're going to wrap this up now. Okay. Right, I've got some tallow here. I'm actually going to put some of this down. I have been speaking to our friend Al from Eat More Vegans. Al, if you are watching, you've been a legend. He's a good friend of ours, basically a pitmaster in North Carolina, and I think he probably woke up to about 15 messages from me, getting very excited and anxious all at the same time. So, Al, you are an absolute legend. Thank you so much for being there. It's starting to take shape. Obviously nowhere near as big as like the American ones, but it's getting there. The bark is set. I'm going to use another piece of aluminium or aluminum foil. Let's go that way this time. Make sure the probe is still sticking out. It has been a bit of a godsend, this probe. So keeping an eye on where or how the cook is going. I just feel nervous. I feel quite nervous. I feel like I'm a bit panicky. I feel like I'm a bit shaky. This has been cooking for 12 hours. It's going to be such a shame if it comes out and it sucks. Okay, we're going to pop this on. We're still running about 275 to 300 degrees Fahrenheit. Right, pop this in. We're going to be keeping an eye in with the Taifa probe when we get to about 195. Then we're going to take it out, let it rest for about an hour or so, and then stick it in the warmer, and then hopefully have some nice brisket tomorrow. Okay, so it's 15 hours and 15 minutes in. It's been a long day. Okay, so we're not expecting to see anything because obviously it's wrapped up. But let's try and see. 198. Cool, that's tender. You know what? I think this is, I can't believe it. I actually think it's ready. And then when I say ready, I mean to come off the pit. Yeah, it's ready to come off the pit. So, if you want to... I can't believe that. I actually can't believe that. Come follow me. I'm pleasantly surprised. I genuinely thought it might be one spot will be 195, but everything's over 195. Gonna let this rest. We'll be back as soon as this drops down to about 165, and then we're gonna throw it in the warmer. And I'm gonna have a shower because I stink, even though I can't really smell it now. Can you smell me?
No, you don't smell.
Right, we'll see you in a bit when this drops down to 165. Bloody hell. Bloody love you guys. Okay, so we're reading 165 degrees. The warmer is set to 150 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 65 degrees. God, smells good. 65 degrees Celsius. We've had a little bit of spillage here, hence why we're using the tray. Excuse me, I'm wearing my pajamas. It's been a long day, 16 hours I think. It's been a long day, but let's hope it's going to taste really, really good tomorrow. Special thank you to Al from Eat More Vegans as well. That's been an absolute angel. And have to say, Typha guys, so far so good. Right, let's close this up. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to have some sleep. I'm going to need some sleep. And I will see you in the morning. It's the next morning. We are rocking at 150 degrees. Smells good. Bit of liquid coming out. It's like unwrapping a present at Christmas. Ooh, oh wow.
Well, that bark is lovely.
Cool. That's a bit like it. Bit jiggy with it. Okay, quite a bit of liquid there. Okay, so it looks quite jiggy with it over here. Just see what the ends look like. Okay, well it's bending. It's bending a little bit flaky, but not a bad smoke ring. Okay, right. The bit I'm waiting for is the point. So I'm just gonna cut this. That's pretty juicy, isn't it?
Looks good, babe.
Okay, right. Now, right then, piece for you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh.
It's got a nice smoke flavour to it.
It's got a lovely smoke flavour. Very tender. Quite beefy, but
Very beefy.
it's a completely different beefy taste to what we've had in Texas. The juice that's come out of it almost tastes a bit more like a gravy. No, I think that's quite good. For your first brisket, I'm quite happy with the way that tasted.
Yeah, so not a bad taste, not a bad taste. Let's try the point. Definitely juicy. Yeah, not as tender as I'd like it to have been, but...
It's all a learning curve. If you got it right on the first time, there'd be all those pit masters out there being like, I've spent years and years honing my craft.
Okay, there's a bit for you.
Ooh, that feels like butter, babe. Wow. Hang on, you said about pull apart. Yeah, that falls apart.
So you can see it's got a nice smoke ring. Okay, let's try it.
Cheers. Oh, yeah. That's my points best, isn't it? Oh, so good.
Yeah. That's good. You can taste the salts come through it. Nice smoke taste, great smoke ring, nice and tender. The lean, well, the flat could do with being a bit more tender. Really happy with the flat. I mean, I don't know if you can see, it's got a great bark on there.
That bark is lovely, and I just want to say the taste as well. Sometimes I've had it a bit too peppery, a little bit too salty. I think you got it like spot on. That was the Goldee's one, was it?
Yeah.
Well, it's hard not to go wrong with the Goldee's, isn't it?
That is good. So the flat, I'll be honest, it's nice and juicy. Down here it's not quite as tender as I'd like it to have been, but yeah, very juicy, which is great. So you can see it's rendered down quite nicely. Bark is really good. Smoke ring, you can see. Great smoke ring. All in all, not too bad. Not too bad. Obviously, it's not going to be like the Texas one, particularly not on your first attempt. Lots of notes made, lots of things to learn. If you've got anything to add to this or any tips and tricks, please let us know. Before we wrap up, just want to say a heartfelt thank you to everyone that watches the channel. We couldn't do what we do without you guys, so thank you so much for taking your time to watch us and watch our journey and our experience on all things American food. And all that leaves this little British family to say is...
Take care.
God bless.
And see y'all in the next video.
At least it looks a bit like a brisket. Jeez. I can't open the tray. And have some breakfast. Have some breakfast? Well, have some brisket.